Yesterday, the French Foreign Minister, Jean-Noël Barrot, said that France was working already on a plan to protect Greenland against a possible U.S. intervention. He said that he would like this plan to be part of a European dimension and, discuss with European partners. Do you support this French initiative to develop a plan, a European plan to protect Greenland? Are you in touch with Paris? And what would you like to have included in this plan? Thank you.
Again, if Anitta wants to jump in, she's more than welcome to do so. What I can say at this stage is that we are in constant contact with our member states. Of course, this is a very important matter for our union. Greenland is something on which we have been working actively since many years, are developing our partnership with them, and this engagement continues. Also in these matters, we do speak with all member states, including France, but I don't think that at this stage we have specific comments on this announcement that we have seen in the press.
It's on the same subject, but it's perhaps a more general question. I mean, given the unprecedented low levels of cooperation, consultation, even threats from the US side to the EU on a whole range of key policy areas, is it not the case that EU-US relations have never been so poor? They're dire. They're barely on life support.
What I can say is that the US remains a strategic partner of our union, and with them, as with all other partners, we work actively in the areas where there are common interests, and we will continue to do so, of course, in the various topics where we share interests, as I was saying.
Thanks for that. But you say in areas where you have common interests. I mean, when you look at the United States bypassing the EU in terms of trying to get a deal on Ukraine by going directly to Russia. You can't even say on trade because, we have the 15% baseline tariffs. Even foreign policy in the Middle East. I'm sure the EU is unhappy that the United States is not putting more pressure on Israel to allow the humanitarian aid into Gaza. I mean, just the list goes on and on. So when you talk about the common areas of interest and what specifically, what areas are you talking about at this stage? Because when you look at trade, foreign policy, what examples can you give?
I would disagree with your reading on the various points you mentioned. On Ukraine, we share a common interest with the US, which is the one of reaching a just and lasting peace with Ukraine, and we work with our member states, with our Ukrainian partners and with our US partners. In the sense, the coalition of the willing meeting of Tuesday testifies to this. The US was present and actively engaged. On the trade deal, Olaf can explain much better than I can, but it's a policy choice of the US towards its international partners. And here, once again, we are very convinced that we have obtained the best deal possible with an overall tariff and certainty for our companies. For the Middle East, we, of course, support a solution for Gaza and protection of the civilians, and we welcome the US engagement also in the sense. So in all these areas that you're mentioning, we do cooperate with our US partners. Do we have to agree on each and every step with our international partners? Of course not, but they remain strategic partners, and we work with them constructively in all areas possible.
Is EU going to use this American-style approach to prevent transporting of Russian oil? Of course, the legal basis is different and the condition is different, but what do you think about this approach? And the second question, yesterday, Senator Lindsey Graham, he said that Trump green-lighted a new sanction bill against Russia, which impose additional measures on country which buy Russian oil. Do you have some position on this bill? Thank you.
Thank you. You have mentioned several elements, but let's focus on the key element, and this is the Russian shadow fleet, where we share a common goal to sanction it and to also ensure that we curtail all those trying to circumvent our sanctions. We have listed sanctions in our 19 sanction package, but also before we have listed several of the shadow fleets. So if I'm looking to the numbers, we have now sanctioned over 597 vessels, and also I'm referring to the last FAC from December, where we have listed 41 more vessels, and the agreement of the EU foreign affairs ministers has been also to have these vessels listed on a rolling basis. So the idea is to send a very strong message to Russia and to ensure that we are acting on stopping Russia from financing its war of aggression against Ukraine.
Hello, and my question is about the Russian shadow fleet also. So I just would ask for clarification. Do the member state must, or the member state can board the vessels?
Again, it's for the member state to decide on the boarding or inspection in accordance with their own domestic legal framework.
Yes, my question is quite simple. Does the sanctions regime, as a legal basis, allow member states to board and intercept vessels of the shadow fleet? Yes or no?
I'll have to look specifically into this and come back to you.
And of course, on top of sanction regime, we have other laws, such as maritime right, etc., that need to be abided by. We're not in a position to comment now specifically which actions would or would not be in line. Of course, member states also have national legislation to respect. It's an assessment they make. What is important is that the necessary actions are taken to ensure that the sanctions measures are fully implemented in an effective manner to prevent from providing further oil to Russia's war machine. This is ultimately the goal of our sanctions. This is why the Commission also cooperates with the Member States to be effective in them. Now we're not in a position to provide you with a detailed analysis on what could or could not be in line with different Member States' law.